have all heard of secret societies that operate behind the curtains of everyday life. Organizations who teach secret knowledge only to those that are initiated. Knowledge so secretive, people in search of it must take an oath of secrecy to learn it. Normally, those who join these secret societies never speak about what they learn. Rarely do we ever see people admit their involvement in these organizations, let alone speak out about it. Fortunately, I found a person who was deep into a secret occult organization, and in a recent interview they did, she revealed how the devil led her into the world of the occult, eventually joining a secret society called the Order of the Golden Dawn. She also explains how God eventually saved her and got her out of that satanic lifestyle. If you have been watching this channel for some time now, you should already know who Osiris is. Osiris is a part of the Egyptian unholy trinity: Isis, Osiris, and Horus. These three gods are worshipped by most of the occult, especially those who follow Aleister Crowley. This right here shows the devil in the details. See, Lucifer only knows one trick: inverting what God already made. Lucifer takes God's teachings and inverts it to manipulate you to do the opposite of what God commands you to do. That's why these occultists are using the Bible and religious practices to worship themselves instead of the true God. Jack also explains how the Order of the Golden Dawn taught his followers not to follow Christ, but to become your own version of Christ, your own savior. Again, this goes back to the forbidden knowledge and choosing to be your own God. That's what the occult teaches his followers.
Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there onto this life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Give me a quick edifying. No one I do make this short. Hit a couple of key points. I was watching that particular episode of Truth Is, which is a good channel. This time he be going off talking about the book of Enoch and all this other stuff. And his whole purpose is pretty much every man on earth have their purpose. So me making this show, this is my purpose. This is my job on earth to preach Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is the highest level of a man's life. Now, the key thing, because there's a lot of word salad, but I'm gonna try to summarize it. The key thing, the true definition of man's purpose is to serve the Lord. All right. Matter of fact, the greatest person, second greatest person in history, said it the best, and he came back in his ultimate form. And he also explained it. But let's go to his first one of his many lives, because there's reincarnation in the scriptures. Because there's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter." So this is what you call the Lord. This is what you call, science would call it, a synopsis, a conclusion of all the studies. Because remember, Solomon, and this is Solomon, he studied everything that you could think of. What man knows now, he already knew back then. Alright? The depths of man's soul, the depths of a man's thought, the depths of woman, depths on beast, depths on everything, he knew. So he came with that conclusion. Now, it's ironically funny, the same orders that you see on earth, secret societies, who they big up the most? Solomon, and then Hammer Biff, whatever his name is. And that's who they look up to, the Freemasons and so forth. But this is the conclusion what Solomon, after all his studies, that's why he figured it out. So let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. For this is the duty of this is the whole duty of man. Man in general, that was created, terrestrial bodies that was created here on earth, sole purpose is to serve the creator of all things, which his name is Yahweh. All right. Now, let me get this real quick. Proverbs 1:1. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsel. So the scriptures is a book. The Bible is a book of instructions, and the instructions is how to live on earth. It's quite simple. How to live on earth, how to thrive, how to prosper, how to do right. Matter of fact, it says this real quick. Joshua 1:7. I've read it in a while. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but that shall meditate therein day and night, that mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. But then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So Joshua, what book he was talking about? He's talking about the scriptures. Alright? From Genesis on down to Revelations. This is the book of instructions. This is the book of prophecies. This is the book of everything. Now, I was watching that particular episode. Very good episode, actually. 29 minutes. And in this particular episode, they was bringing some key components to the whole matter. And matter of fact, let me get this real quick so I could just. Lord will not go too long, but it says, Sirach 19:22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So the key word is knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Alright? It's not wisdom at all. Matter of fact, there's a wickedness in the same in abomination. There is a fool wanting wisdom. So who's the one that's wanting wisdom? Now she basically, when you watch the episode, some Edomite woman, but she was, when you hear the story that she has to say, which we all kind of know, but it's good to hear the perspective and the guy, how the guy Truth, what he called himself, how he was breaking it down with limited understanding that every man's purpose is the Lord's will on earth. Now it's hard for a lot of people to understand that, because man is believed that they have free will. But in actuality, they don't have free will. This is why they need to be guided. But the first and the only people that really needs to be on a level was the children of Israel, which is the sons of the Most High. When the scripture says, I'm just going to quote some things because a lot of things are coming to my mind. It says Hosea 4:6 that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And because thou hast rejected knowledge, the Lord also reject thee, and that should not be a priest unto me. So what is that knowledge? The knowledge is not talking about science. It's not talking about botany or any different form of anything, democracy or any form of thing of heaven that people come up with. The knowledge is about knowledge of the Most High. Alright, matter of fact, I always bring this out real quick. It's in Proverbs. I always remember. I forget where I think it's 28. The 24. Alright. You just type it in. It might be 19 now, I'm thinking about it. I was right. It says the prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his life. So the prince of understanding, which is what? Who's, matter of fact, let's just get the precept. So much stuff is coming in my head right now. Out through the spirit. I'll say John 14 and 30. It says, hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, have nothing in me. So the prince of this world currently is Esau Edom. It has nothing to do with Yahweh Shai, nothing to do with this truth, nothing to do with the scriptures. Alright? To prove this, I gotta take it back. And that's the whole point of this show. Alright, the scriptures, as a matter of fact, let me get this real quick before I continue. Romans 9 and 16, 17. Alright, 17, and to the point is 19. But the scriptures have saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that will show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore have he mercy on whom you have mercy, and whom you hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? The answer to that is nobody. No man has free will. Everything has a purpose. So the prince of this world is Esau Edom. Alright? Which that's what I wanted to get to. 2nd Ezra 6 and 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau, the key point, Esau is the end of the world, the end of an age, the end of a cycle, right? So now let's go into this cycle real quick. So now we understand that the Lord's sole purpose of creating something was to show forth his works, right? Matter of fact, real quick, Proverbs 16 and 4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Most High, the creator of all things, Yahweh, gave Yahweh Shai the blueprint. This is what you must create. It tells you that everything that was created by him and for him. And the by him was Yahweh Shai, for Yahweh Shai. Why? Because the Most High wanted to see this thing through. It tells I'm just gonna quote a couple of scriptures. Isaiah 46 and 10, declaring the end from the beginning. So to understand the whole full story, you have to go from the beginning. And this is where that clips of truth comes about. Because he made mention, I don't think I put the clip in there, but yeah, I think I probably would. But he made mention of the garden and the misconception of the whole serpent, which all churches know that serpent represented Satan. But what they failed to understand, it wasn't an actual serpent or spiritual demon Satan. It was an actual man on earth. It was an actual man on earth. Matter of fact, we always got to go to that one. So Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. So that right there throws people off his course, because they actually think, oh yeah, snakes is low, they low ground, and they slither around. And no, it wasn't talking about that. So when you go to the Hebrew word, the Hebrew text, all right, the Hebrew word is nakash, right? So it says right here, serpent, snake, serpent. The image of a serpent, flying serpent. So just stick to serpent, snake. So when you go to origin for the origin of words, so the origin meaning the origin definition. So this Hebrew word is a two-part word, so to speak. So same word, nakash, but now the origin word, the true definition of this, to practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience, diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen. Snakes do not practice fortune telling. These are acts of actual men. And this is what would you call a witch or a wizard. So the serpent was spoken of in the Genesis 3rd chapter, which I'm going to go into this particular part, the Strong's definition, what gives you even more hit. It says, strong definition, previous root, primarily to the hiss. So what snakes hiss? No, it's not talking about snake. That is whisper, a magic spell. Once again, snakes is not known for that. Scriptures tell you that every beast, basically roughly paraphrasing, is in Corinthians, glory of his own. So you have the terrestrial, you got the celestial. No, those two don't mix. The celestial is the heavenly beings, the angels and so forth. That's a whole nother realm of things, and different knowledge and so forth. Terrestrial is which is on earth. All right, you can't mix these different things. So what beasts, the beasts on earth cannot be as human beings, because they are beasts. They have their office. They have their, their order. That's what I'm looking for. They have their order. Everything has an order. The Lord put everything in order. Man is supposed to be above all. All right. So this is talking about men. Now, whisper. It says whisper, a magic spell, generally a prognosticator, which goes into, I don't know what it means, but
prognosticate.
Prognosticate, it means to predict or foreshadowing something based on current signs or indications. So that will form of what? Of intelligence. Right? And those intelligence comes from what? A man. X, certainly divine. Enchantment learned by experience, indeed diligently observed. So normally I would go to the whisper, which you go to the precept to that is in the Apocrypha, I believe in the same chapter. It says that cursed be the whisper. Basically, the whisper disrupts peace because he's casting a spell. He's not being truthful. It tells you in Proverbs, the sixth chapter, woe unto him that teaches with his hands. So they do things in secret. Henceforth, secret society. Henceforth, matter of fact, let me go into it real quick. I have a little dog, I guess he has little nightmares. Proverbs 6 and I believe it's 16. No, I'm sorry. I gotta go up. 6 and 12. So everything that was going back to what Freemasons and all that, right? A naughty person, a wicked man. So all those attributes that they're doing, secret societies and holding knowledge back and so forth. All of that is wicked. It's naughty. All right? Those are signs of a wicked person. Walking with a forward mouth, winketh with his eyes, speak with his feet, and teacheth with his fingers. So they're not straightforward. They're holding back information. So shows you what that this particular individual, the serpent, that's what he was. All right, because we all know the history, what he did in the beginning of the fall of man. But keep going. It says, "Forwardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually." And did he do that? And he soweth discord. And did he not do that? So this is all the attributes of that particular serpent. Now, when I read about the prince wanting understanding, so when you read, I'm going to quote some things. Genesis, this second chapter, the 7th verse, say that the Lord God, which is the Lord God in all caps, is talking about Yahweh, the Most High, how he was dealing with Adam, which Adam, that particular Adam, was who the world called known as Jesus through his first incarnation on earth. So him breathing knowledge unto Adam, far greater knowledge than any other man that was on that time frame, and on that time of Adam. But the serpent, on the other hand, he also had knowledge, but his knowledge was on the left-hand side. So going back to this, is now the serpent was more subtle under, says Aram, subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, good, strong, cunning, usually in the bad sense. So he was cunning. All right? So it proves that what? He knew the laws. All the men knew the laws back then. But this group of individuals, this man, him knowing the law, yet he still intervened. But that was all part of the Lord's movie. It says, then any beast, which the beast is not talking about actual beast, it's talking about man. It tells you in Ecclesiastes, I'm just going to get it. I'm not going to get it. It's the 3rd chapter, that men are beasts. What separates a man from a beast? Laws to govern himself, which the Lord Yahweh made. So the Lord God, the Lord of Yahweh, the power of the Most High of all the gods, had made all these individuals, all had to play a role. But out of all these individuals that he made, this people of a low degree, the basis of all man, this is what he did. And said unto the woman, yea, the Elohims said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohims, the judges, which is the angels, said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doeth, the Elohims doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, also Elohims, which it says God right here, it says Elohims, could be rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, and gods. So the law was given to man back then by the gods, which were the angels. And then men knew this law. So that's why you have elders and so forth. And they'll pass these things like, oh, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. So there was a rule that was set back then. But this man's job was to what? To throw off everything. Now this could happen to any other people, but it happened to the royal class at that time, which the chain reaction that was going to change the face of the earth. So you got to look at this as a movie as well. This is basic stuff. Everybody knows the story, but it's basic stuff. Like when you look at it in a movie sense, one brother had broke it down, which was beautiful. That the serpent was a councilman in Adam's court. And I never really thought about it. It was like kind of that makes sense, because Adam was Lord of all men. He had a job to do. His job was what? To name everything. When you put your name on anything, that means your spirit is on it. So his job was to put everything in order. All right? Give it purpose. While everything else was out of order, he gave purpose. Now here comes jealousy in the form of a man. And knowing that he knows the rules and the regulations, because this Adam was not the first man, period. He comes from a string of Adams. But he knew, and anybody that was under that rule, they knew certain things not to do. This is why she spat it out. And guess what? Adam, her husband, was Lord. So it says, for the Alahims doeth know that in the day you eat thereof, which is not talking about actual food, it's actually talking about the philosophies. This is different. If you eat this different philosophy, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And what truth was wrong at scriptures tells you. Matter of fact, let me use the other. I don't want to lose my place. It actually tells you. And what make a man a god? Well, when you go to a courtroom, when a man has rule over your life, he technically sits as that judge. He sits as a god. All right. And it says, Psalms 82:6. I have said ye are gods, lowercase, and all of your children. And all you are the children of the Most High. And it's talking about Israel. It's not talking about all men. All men are not gods. Let me go back. Let me look up the word gods. The word for gods so happens to be Elohim, the same word that is found in Genesis, the first chapter, second chapter. All right. The only difference is when you see Lord in front of it, it's talking about the Most High Himself. Same thing: rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. All right. So laws is given. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Then many generations, then people passed that down. That's what it says in Deuteronomy. I forgot which chapter it is. It's laws, statutes, and commandments that you should give to your sons and your sons' sons. When they ask, when in Exodus, when the Lord in the 20th, not the 20th chapter, the 14th chapter, when it asks why we do these things, and this is why you're supposed to do it. Because this is when the Lord took the children of Israel. Oh, the Exodus is the 12th chapter. Took the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So it's something that was supposed to be passed down. So there's no difference back then. Nothing new under the sun. All right. So knowing the good and the evil, that will make you a god. So what this was the sole purpose of the journey of man, which came from Adam, going to Second Ezra, the 7th chapter, and it tells you in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter, how the Lord was the first Adam. First Adam came in flesh, and the second Adam as a spirit, which is Yahweh Shai. It tells you in Hebrews the 12th chapter, 12 and 2, that Yahweh Shai is the author and the finisher of the faith. So this began the journey of man. So the serpent, what he did was wicked, but this is how the cycle, this is how the story really began. The journey of good and evil. All right. The serpent had to play his role in order to get this thing going. Let me see. I was making it longer than that. It doesn't matter. And when the woman saw the tree was good, she saw these different philosophies so that she could, and she saw the future. She saw that women could be over men at a period of time. She saw that she didn't have to serve her husband. All right. She saw all this stuff. It was good because it was good for her in her eyes. It benefited her, and that it was pleasant. Meaning what? It was pleasant for her. The role reversal to the eyes, and the tree to be desired, to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave it also unto her husband with her, and did eat. So she gave what she learned to her significant other. So this was the beginning of the fall of man. Real quick, before I forget, because this is a precept that come in mind. The second is this. Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusts, so is wickedness. So we read this book is an instruction of life. So you have to know who's for your benefit, who's against you. Right? This is the path that we have. This is a learning lesson to all, mainly to Israel. It says, though he humble himself, go crouching, yet take good heed, beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So before even the first murder took place on the planet Earth, there was a great deception, it was already hatred there. All right, there was already a wickedness, because it led Adam astray, which was his kingdom, to go astray. And knowing that he was dealing with the creator of all things directly, that built up jealousy, which it goes into Ezekiel. Which chapter is that I'm thinking of? I already got Ezekiel 28 in deck. When I was speaking of when we keep reading, it says, and thou shalt know his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, least when he have overthrown thee, was about to overthrow, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou art at the last, remember my words, be pricked thereof. So, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or as such as cometh nigh a wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner is defiled with him and his sins. Who will pity? So what is the other lesson that we have to learn? Why the Lord separated us from the beginning? And why did Adam and Eve thought they were naked? Because they was exposed. They had everything good going their direction. And once they realized that people was not for their benefit, let me go to that real quick. Ezekiel chapter. Ezekiel. It might be the 28th chapter as well. Let me see something. No, that's not there. I'm gonna look for the let's see. There's the trees. I know there's a long shot. Salakia, let me just get this real quick. Ezekiel 31 and 8. And let me go up a little bit. Five. Therefore, his height was. This is what the Bible speaks in allegories and all that good stuff that it speaks of. But these are proverbs, deep, dark sayings that has meaning behind everything. That was not there written just to be there written. Ezekiel 31 and 4. The waters made him great. This is talking about the king of Assyria, right? This is what he's going to switch. The deep set him up in the high, with her rivers running around about his plants, and set out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore, his height was exalted above all the trees. Now, I was not talking about the king of Assyria. It says, above all the trees of the fields, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches become long because of the multitude of the waters, where so when he shoot forth, all the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs. Going back to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. All the animals came to what? To Adam, to be named. Right? Under his branches did all beasts of the field bring forth their young. Under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Thus was he fair in his greatness in the length of his branch, for his root was his root was by great waters. The cedars in the garden. This is how you know it isn't talking about the king of Assyria no longer. Because who was in the garden, which I'm going to bring that up too. Of the garden of the Most High could not hide him. That's when the time of Adam, after Genesis the 3rd chapter, he realized he was naked. And he tried to hide himself among the others. But he couldn't hide him because why? He was different from the rest. The fair trees were not like his boughs. And the chestnut trees were not like his branches. Nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him and his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. Can a tree envy other trees? No, that's a human emotion. All right, let me read the NLT. Because I have made this tree so beautiful. Because what? The Lord breathed into him life. Gave him laws. All right. Matter of fact, real quick. Genesis 2 and 7, right? You see what it says, the breath, right? The pash. All right, so this word is napak, and the other word breath is nashama. So It's talking about the spirit, knowledge. It tells you in Wisdom of Solomon. Actually, let me go back to this. It says, Genesis 2:8, and the Lord Yahweh planted a garden eastward, so the whole planet Earth was a Eden. But this particular garden eastward was in the middle of the garden. And he put the man whom he had formed. So out of all men, he had gotten special attention. And out of the ground made the Lord Yahweh power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of the good and evil, which it goes into something else. So yes, so the trees does not get envious. It was talking about the other nations. All right, the other nations. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, because thou hast lifted up thyself in thy height, and shoot up his tree as his top among the thick burrows, and his heart is lifted up in his height, which is then it goes into something else. Now to go back to go to Ezekiel 28 real quick. So it says, basically, thou art wiser than Daniel. It's speaking of Esau, Edom, right? When you read it, so I'm gonna jump down to 13. So the king of Tyrus. It says, that has been in the garden of the Most High. Every precious stone was thy covering. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna read it in the NLT. You were in the garden. You were in Eden, the garden of the Most High. Your clothing was adorned with every precious stone, red carnelian, pale green, pomegranate, paradite, white moonstone, which doesn't say that, blue, green, beryl, ox, onyx, green, jasper, blue, lupus, lazuli, turquoise, which doesn't say that, and emerald, and all the beautiful craft for you, and set in the finest gold they were given to you on the day you were created. So it says pretty much the same thing, but a couple of things are different. So now somebody might say, oh, what are you talking about? Was not Israel north of Mount Seir? So the same people that inhabited that time of Eden, would it not be far-fetched that was mounting up the same time of Eden? So they was right near neighbors towards us. Those serpents, right? Now verse 14, which is a key, very important point. I'm going to read in regular. It says, thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. So what did that truth say? He said, basically, Satan just takes what the Lord create and distort it. That's a trait of covering. This is what the NLT says. I ordained and anointed you as a mighty angelic guardian, which is not talking about that. You have access to the holy mountain of the Most High, and walked among the stones of fire, which is not talking about that. It says the anointed cherub, which is, yes, that is an angel of sort, a messenger. Angels are messengers, right? So they was created, Proverbs 16:4, for this. Job 9:24, the earth is created. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, cover the faces of the judges thereof. When you cover something, that means something had to be there first. So you take something that exists and cover it and change it. That's what they did. It says, and I have set thee so that was upon the holy mountain of the Most High, which is the land of Israel. That land never changed. That's the Garden of Eden. That has walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. That was perfect in thy ways. It's just like every man. All man was created perfect. From the day that was created, there was not a flaw in them. Till iniquity was found in thee. And what is iniquity? Sin. Going back to Ecclesiastes 12, it says that by dealing with a sinner. So we were supposed to stay the hell away from those serpents, so to speak. You were, verse 15 in NLT, you were blameless in all you did from the day you were created, until the day evil was found in you. So when was evil found in this man? Let's see if there's a little bit more to that. Oh no, it goes. Going back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Yeah, evil was found in him. Let me jump down to Genesis 3 and 14 now. It says, and the Lord thy power was said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this. I gotta go up. 12. And the man said, the woman, no. 11. And he said, who has told thee thou was naked? So who told you you didn't know nothing? Right? To be naked is to be ashamed. Who told you you didn't know nothing? Who told you this thing? Because that's what they thought. Right? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee, thou shouldest not eat? So the conclusion was, like, the investigation, like, you must have learned about this different philosophies. So you think you were exposed? It says, and the man said, this is Adam, the woman whom thou hast givest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. So he blamed her. And the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, what is this that has done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So he was envious. He knew the laws. He knew the statutes and commandments. He beguiled the woman to what? To bring turmoil within Adam's kingdom. All right? Because he's envious that the Lord is not dealing with him. And it tells you in Genesis, the 4th chapter, how the Lord was displeased with Cain because Cain didn't do what pleased the Lord. So this is the way they get back. It says in verse 14, and the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. So above all these different nations, you are cursed. And above every beast of the field, which is the world, field means world, upon thy belly shall thou go, and thus shall thou eat in all the days of thy life, which means confusion. There was going to come to a period of time where they will not speak any language or anything of sort, because it would be the basis of men, something that was not upright. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So the woman that bears seed, no. That woman is the representation of Israel. So that was a future prophecy right here. So the enmity between the woman, the serpent, and the woman was Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau had enmity because when you go into it, they was trying to literally kill each other. And it says, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Which is going into the birth of these two individuals, because Jacob was destined to take down Esau. So this is how this whole beautiful thing, this story, truly was sped off. The Lord started something so that way the prophecies could be fulfilled. The fall of man, so that way man can rise through Yahweh Shai, which is not all man. It was talking about the Israelite man. And the Israelite man had to learn not to trust his woman, not to trust outsiders, to put his trust and follow the instructions that was given unto him. Wow, I wrapped it up. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.